Just adjust my user settings here real quick. How y'all doing? Voice video. Hey, I'm going to a voice activity for this just because it's easier than hitting the button constantly. So be advised. All right, so here we are. We are live. One day, guys, we're going to have to set up like a Zoom call type of thing so I can put something on the screen either with your like faces or your character avatars or something. So it's not just me spinning a ship in three detached voices on the stream.
But it's so much fun.
I know you don't want to show your face, but we can figure something out, I'm sure. Z, what are you doing? You mining?
No, I'm painting a Warhammer model right now.
Ooh, that's good. So, kind of just wanted to go over a couple different news topics for today. Doesn't look like there's anybody in the chat room yet because we just went live, but going to go ahead and start anyway. I think what I want to talk about today, and you guys please chime in with your own feels and whatnot on it, but number one, want to talk about the issue with possible. There's talk on Reddit that Noraus from Frat has been banned again. Just wanted to kind of speculate on that a little bit, especially after my last podcast that I put out the other day, which was pretty much my Fuck Frat podcast. Then we've got so talk about that a little bit. Want to talk about looks like there's financial and activity recovery across New Eden ever since the end of World War B2. Just kind of, get some thoughts and feels on that. What Brave has been up to, according to the Sov.space map, it looks like and Dotland, they're doing some things to the north of us. And looks like Dreadbomb's kind of having a rough time holding on to Sov lately. And they've got a little war going on against Black Rose, who I think was one of their renters and rebelled. So kind of just touch on that stuff a little bit. And I know Smashy's over here has been, I can't even say knuckle deep. You've been like shoulder deep in Seat lately, huh?
Shoulder, I think I got both arms and the head's on the way in at this point.
We're going to hold your ankles so you don't fall all the way in.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to hold me.
Yeah. Oh, hold me. Oh, got to give you some love. But yeah, so we're in the process right now in our corporation of we've messed with a bunch of different back-end systems, EveHR and some other ones throughout our time, trying to find like the one that works best for us to kind of do your human resources and your coordination and stuff behind the scenes for Eve, because Eve is one of those games that you need that. And lately we've been playing with Seat, okay, which is I guess a lot of the bigger groups use that, and it was kind of daunting at first because this is like you gotta pretty much have it on like a private virtual server, and it needs to be a pretty robust server because the actions that it's taken constantly. But thankfully I've got a few guys that I'm partners in this corp with that actually know what they're doing with programming, because I would have no clue how to do this. And it looks like they've kind of got it. It's moving along, like it's coming around. And I got to tell you, that Seat program is really cool. If you run a corp and you're looking for some type of back-end software to use, give that a shot. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to probably end up spending a little bit of money each month to maintain it, but anything that's good, you're going to have to do that. What are some of the things we had to do for that, Chris? What are like infrastructure wise? Like I know we had to get a domain name. We had to rent like a virtual private server.
We kind of went a little bit differently. We just went straight through the website, which is called DigitalOcean. And you can load up a VPS on there, and then you can run a domain and a database. You can basically run everything you need for Seat right there. But as you said, the price tag can get up there if you get nice bells and whistles, depending on how big your corp or your alliance may be.
Okay. So I know right now it looks like for us, for our small little corp, we're looking at probably somewhere between like, let's call it, to reimburse for everything, about $50 a month. Okay. So what we basically did was we threw a Patreon up for our guys and said, can you please, if you feel that it's worth it with the stuff that we do and, trying to drive content for you guys, if you don't mind kicking, if everybody kicks in a couple bucks a month, then we've got it covered. We're not looking to make money off of this. It's just, we got to cover costs. That's it. So not like one person's footing the bill for everything. And our guys have been responding really well to that because, I think they're seeing the value of it. I'll tell you what, just the first time I logged into it, and I authed my guys in, my characters in, just the skill preview page, I was like, man, I wish they had this in Eve. Like it's to me, it's so much more robust and easy to read, and I can kind of track things. I was getting a kick out of it. So I'm excited about Seat and about using that. For us, it's kind of like, I feel like we're growing up. It's another step in us growing. Like the corp's been around now. We've been playing for almost 2 decades. I've been playing this game since 2004. Chris, you've been playing for forever as well. Z, you're fairly new, but you're elbow deep in Eve, so you've got experience with it. But for our little corp that has only been around a little over a year now since we formed this. I feel like we've made leaps and bounds, and jumping into Seat, even though it might just seem trivial to some people, us being able to have that and use that for our guys, to me, that's like another step in our growth and our evolution. Just because we have something that it's so robust. I mean, I don't know what other word to use for it. We don't even have it fully running yet. And I'm like, man, there's so much functionality in here. I'm assuming we'll be able to do like buyback programs and SRP through it. I know it does PAPs. PAPs are like participation points. I know some of the big blocks use those. It's just a way for you to track your members' activities to find out, who is actually participating. There's a little bit of everything in there. It's really, really cool. So if you guys, if anybody out there is, a CEO or a director or whatever, the HR portion of your corp is your responsibility, consider taking a look at Seed if you haven't. Eve HR was fun. It's a good program. I think, though, Chris, the thing we ran into most, the biggest complaint from our guys was it's very slow.
Yeah, it definitely got bogged down at times. But again, I mean, you can't really ask a lot for something that is being hosted like offsite that you don't have to host on your own. Like if you can't do this, like it's definitely a good option, but you will outgrow it if you continue to grow.
It integrates right with our Discord server, so with roles and whatnot. There is definitely a learning curve on it. Like I know Eve HR had a learning curve for when you were setting that up, but I've got the feeling that even though this seems a bit more in depth, you guys that have been working on the back end of this have really kind of, I think once you figure something out in this and it happens, it's like, it's solid after that. It's like, boom, it's done. Look at how great it works. So I'm excited to see that. Hey, Raj just joined us. What's up, buddy?
Not too much.
Cool. Roz is our recon director for Omni Defense Corps and One Eye, which is Omni Defense Intelligence Network, our nullsec branch of our group. He has been a big part of helping get all this stuff together as well for our Seat server and getting that running, and also kind of segueing into our next little topic here, which is Eve Vegas coming up. I am leaving in. Let's see. Less than 72 hours. I'm getting on the road. I live in Houston. We're going to be driving up, the wife and I, to Vegas. We're taking kind of a casual trip. We drive 6 a.m. on Tuesday. We're going to leave. We're going to head to El Paso. We're going to spend the night in El Paso. That's about 11 hours drive from Houston. So yeah, after 11 hours, we're still not out of Texas. Spend the night in El Paso. Hope that we don't get kidnapped by a cartel. Get in the car the next morning. Then we're going to drive to Kingman, Arizona. That's about, I think it's like 3.5, 4 hours from Vegas. We're going to stop there for the night. Because again, we're kind of taking a casual trip. So now this is Wednesday night. Thursday morning, we wake up, have a nice breakfast, and then we're going to take the leisurely drive up to Las Vegas. We are going to be staying in the D, which is just down Fremont a little bit from Circa. Circa is where Eve Vegas is basing out of this year. Circa is the newest addition to the Fremont Casino and Resorts. It was finished during the COVID downtime. So it looks really beautiful over there, but it's all owned by the same company that I believe Four Queens is too. Four Queens is kind of in between. It's like D, Four Queens, and then Circa. So we're staying at the D. We got a really good rate there. So that's why we're staying there. I know right now people that are trying to get last minute rooms are having a really, really hard time with that, because at the same time that Eve Vegas is going on, the Electronic Daisy Carnival, EDC, is going on, which is a big electronic music festival. It's a pardon me, I don't have a cough button. It is on like the I guess the north side of town, wherever the racetrack is, I think is where they said that is. But the electronic music hippies do filter down to Fremont and the Strip, so it definitely all the hotel prices and stuff bumped up. Sorry, I was looking at something on Discord there. So if you haven't gotten a room already, it might be a little difficult. You might have to stay off Strip. There's nothing wrong with that. Just drive over and do your thing. There is no centralized activities for this. It's not like FanFest where there's like, keynote speeches and all that. From my understanding, talking with Hyper Viper and being on the Eve Vegas Discord, which I'm going to share in chat right now. So it is in there. Give me 1 second. I will get that for you guys. Let me get a link. Invite pupil. Use copy button, and there you go. If I just put it up in the Twitch chat for you guys, I'll put it in show notes and whatnot too for anybody who might be watching this on YouTube. But there is a Discord server for Eve Vegas 21. There's a lot of good information there, and it's also going to be the main way to kind of talk and connect with people when you're actually at Eve Vegas. It's a good way to keep in touch. There is a neat list of events. I went through it in another Twitch stream and in a podcast, so I'm not going to go too much into it. However, some of the cool things that are happening are, let's see, Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is karaoke at GoGo Karaoke. Rain is going to be hosting that, Rain Chocolate, so that's pretty cool. She'll host that. Friday is like the official first day of Eve Vegas. 1 p.m. Omega Mart interactive art installation. Tickets are really expensive for this. It's $55 for general admission for ages 14 and up, and children are $50. I heard it's really cool. My wife was a traveler. She owned a travel agency for a while, and Vegas is like one of her things. It's one of her favorite places in the world to go. She's very up on everything that goes there. My wife will spend 10 hours a day watching YouTube videos about Vegas and cruises and stuff. So when Kylie says to me like, hey, this looks like a good place to eat or whatever, I know she's done her research. So this is one of the things she had said, like eventually one of those bucket list items was to go to the interactive art installation, the Omega Mart thing. However, $50 a person to me is just a little bit steep for an event. So I don't know about you guys, but I think we're probably going to plan on skipping that.
Yeah, that's a little up there.
$50 is a lot of beers, man. That's a lot of beers to give up. So let's see what else we've got. There's going to be a pub crawl Friday night, 8 p.m. to whenever. There's some people going to at 11 p.m. Marshmallow, the DJ, is going to be in town. It's $85 for men, $65 for women at XS Nightclub. But again, to me that's a little pricey. So I don't think I'll be attending that. I think that's probably the time that we're all going to be still, we want to kind of hang out with each other. So maybe that's when we're going to go to like Nacho Daddy and go do that the scorpion shot of mezcal or whatever it is or something like that. We'll figure something out. And then of course, if we'll kind of put that out there for some of the things we're doing as a corp, because we've got a couple of our guys aren't going to be able to make it. There was some last minute stuff going on, but pretty much we got like half a dozen guys are going to be there from our court. But we'll probably put it out on Discord, on the Eve Vegas Discord, like, hey, we're going to be going over to Nacho Daddy's, or we're doing this. So that way, if other people want to tag along, they can. Cool thing about Eve Vegas, guys, is, and really this is for any meetup for Eve, if you've never done one before, there's Eve talk, but that's not what it's really about. That's just kind of our common denominator. It's more about hanging out and meeting the people behind the keyboard, okay, behind that F1 key. So this is a time to kind of hang out and just be people with each other, not to really shit it up so much about Eve. I mean, there's obviously Eve banter and stuff that goes on, but it's weird, you know. Brisk was talking about it on Meta Show last week, where he was saying how, you know, people, or I think it was Brisk, it might have been a Nominate or one of the other guys, but people will kind of come to these events and they'll be standing outside like the circle of all the goons over there who are, you know, all clustered up being goons, right? And they'll be standing there and they're new, they've never been to one of these meetups before, and eventually somebody walks over and they're like, hey, who are you? And he's like, and they'll be like, oh, you know, so and so, and they're like, no, okay, yeah, that's your in-game name, that's great. What's your name? Oh, I'm Joe. Okay, hey Joe, nice to meet you. You want to come hang out with us and come drink? And then that's it. And then they're in the crowd and they're part of the group, right? So if you're a little nervous about, like, you know, I'm maybe you're shy or you just don't like being around a lot of crowds, this isn't a time that people are going to sit there and harass you about anything. This is a safe space for nerds, I guess is the way to say it. Now, when I say that, there's a lot of banter that will go on. There's a lot of friendly shit talk that'll go on, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of people hanging out and enjoying the fact that we all have something in common, which is EVE Online. There's some really neat people you're going to run into there, and people that you've probably seen in the community, whether they're Twitch streamers or podcasters, or, you know, they're quote unquote EVE famous, you know, on Reddit or whatnot. And maybe you think they're a dick, and then you meet them at one of these events and you're like, they're not so bad. You know what I mean? Like, their persona in the game might be a jerk, or that person shot me a bunch of times or whatever. But for the most part, you meet the people behind it, and it kind of settles down. You know, it's interesting sometimes when people talk about, like, you know, oh my God, how can people stand like the Matani and stuff? And then they like go to one of these events and, you know, he's loud and boisterous and whatnot. And then you look at him though, and he's just a normal guy like everybody else, puts his pants on just like you and I do. So it kind of humanizes the people behind it, right? And that's good, because this is a game and people need to remember this is a game. And it's kind of cool though. It's cool to have some fun with that. Yeah. So, let me give a wave. There's some people in chat. Hey guys, how's it going? I know that there is also an EVE London meetup coming up. Let me see if I could find the date on that real quick. I saw it on the Wrecking Crew Discord. They were talking about EVE London 2021 meetup. Let's see here. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. I should have had this prepped, but I didn't. Oh, why did it send me to the French website? Here is the news of the community. Totality Day. Join your fleets. EVE Vegas and EVE London. Okay, here we go. EVE London. They're going to be at the Oyster Shed in London. It doesn't have a date on here. I'm not going to join the Discord just to get it.
You just gotta stay there until they show up.
Apparently. That's how the British work, apparently. So if you're in London, just go to the Oyster Shed and stand around until somebody shows up looking like an EVE nerd, and then that's probably not the person. That's probably like a guy who works at the programming company down the street. And then when the other guy shows up, that's when EVE London starts. So unfortunately, you can look it up, guys. I don't have a link for you right now. I'm terrible at that. But I was looking at the Twitter post about it, and I didn't see a date on there. So if somebody else does see something about it and you're in chat here with me, please post it in the Twitch chat, and I will gladly announce that for folks. But yeah, so EVE London, I know EVE Vienna was a couple months ago. They do this, you know, there's for such a small community in the grand scheme of things, you know, the EVE Online community is pretty small. But with that comes a lot of desire to be nicer to people. I know this sounds weird because when we talk about EVE, most people are like, oh, the EVE community is toxic and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yes, but it's Jade Cougar calls it Eve toxic. Jade Cougar from Lost in Eve podcast, he calls it Eve toxic. So Eve toxic is an acceptable amount of toxic, okay? Because we expect it in a game, right? We fight each other, we kill each other, we blow each other's stuff up, we smack talk each other, and that's it. Some people see that from the outside and they think we're hating on each other, but really it's just the in-game stuff. And then when we meet each other in real life, I've said this on a number of my podcasts, there's been only a few people in the 4 fan fests I've went to and such. There's only been a handful of people that I've ever met in person from Eve that I would say I really don't like that person. Most people I can find something to get along with them. And, there's some people that are, strange and weird. Most people think I'm strange and weird. So it, and shut up, Smashies. I know he's about to rattle off on that. But, for the most part, we can find things to get along with when we go to these events. Okay. You don't need to get smashed out drunk. You don't need to get stupid and silly. You don't need to be boisterous. You just be part of the group and you'll have fun. And a lot of like the people in the groups that you think that you really wouldn't get along with, it turns out when you get there, you're like, wow, these people really have the community at heart. For instance, some of the big names in Eve that I'm seeing that are doing things for this. So Scarlett from NC Dot is a big mover and shaker at this. Apparently she's at all of them. And she keeps things moving for the community with that. She's got a lot, like there's photos. She's in like half the photos for Eve Vegas through the years. Okay. The guys that are the guy running this year, I believe he's a goon, and the goons have stepped up as an organization and they've donated the lanyards to put our tickets on, our badges, and a bunch of other stuff, swag. So, I mean, they've stepped up and done this, and this isn't them like it's not just for their guys. It's for everybody who signed up for the free ticket to come to Eve Vegas. That's kind of cool that they did that, right? So, you can kind of goons all you want, but at the same time, you're going to be wearing a little B lanyard when you're out there. So just, be advised. They're kicking in actual cheddar, actual ducats to help keep this thing moving and have it fun. What else did we see here? Oh, someone stop posting. Somebody was trying to post a link. We have a link inhibitor. Okay, let's see. London meetup date is November 6th. The time will be determined the day. Will be determined day of. Wow, that is very interesting. We'll figure out when we get to the day when we're going to meet there. So I guess like maybe the Eve London meetup isn't as big as Eve Vegas would be. I don't really know. I've never been to the Eve London. I know people have some big names have flown over for it from the U.S., but I'll have to take a look at that. Maybe one day I would like to do that. Okay, so that's pretty much unless the chat has some questions about Eve Vegas itself. I'm going to kind of let that stand there. Oh no, I'm not. Hold on. So I'll get to show off a little bit of the swag. So first of all, like I said, one of our guys here in chat, Roz, he was able to coordinate getting us. Oh, he left chat. So
he's gone.
Yeah, he did his ninja thing. That's why he's the recon guy, because he does that ninja thing. He was able to coordinate getting us. We decided to do polo shirts. So let me kind of hold this up to the camera here a little bit. So we've got our corporate polos that our guys are going to be getting when we get out there. And I don't have these here with me because they are with Smashies, but Smashies is bringing out, there's still a mask order in place in Vegas, so you got to wear a mask when you're indoors. And his mom has a company that she does all kinds of like screen printing and embroidery and stuff, I guess. And she does some really nice work. So she was able to make us COVID masks with the ODC emblem on it as well. So we kind of have a little kit going. And for our top, we made a contest. Whoever showed up for Eve Vegas from the Corp that has the top kills for the set time period. I think we said it was from like June or July to the day of. Whoever that is going to win a helmet. And there it is. So we've got our Born to Gank helmet on. So, and then it says Eve Vegas on the side. It's got our corpse on there, and then on the blank side, it's going to be whoever it is that shows up that has the most is going to have their name with the number of kills on there as the morning of Eve Vegas, and that's who will get it. And we're pretty sure right now it's our mining director Z. And one of the coolest things about that, guys, is I'm not going to really talk too much about it, but the way he got a lot of his kills and ganks is quite impressive. That's all I'm going to say. It's not what you'd expect, but he did a good job with it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, if our guy Hank shows up, Hank is he is one of our newer guys. I don't want to say he's been around with us for a little bit, but Hank has really taken our new guys, our brand new beans under his wing, and has become kind of like our training squadron commander. And he has been, I mean, this guy puts in work for PvP for us, man. He really puts in work. So if he shows up, it's his, definitely. One of our other guys, one of our hard charging players, Damien, it would have been his helmet as well. He had planned to come to Vegas, but they've got a new baby, so they're focusing on their newborn that they've got. So that's obviously the best excuse in the world not to come to Vegas, right? So unfortunately, Damien won't be able to join us. The helmet would have been his, and the rule we put forth was it's who shows up, not who in the corp. It's not like we're going to ship it to him. It's who shows up. So that's kind of how it has to go. Yes, baby most certainly does trump helmet. You're absolutely right, Entroga. that is 100% true. But yeah, Hank also got us, I think he had challenge coins done for us, I think is what it was. I'm not too sure about that, but they weren't going to get to us in time, so we're going to end up sending those out afterwards. Those will get shipped to our guys that show up afterwards. We did buy some extra polo shirts. We plan on getting one. We're going to put one on the table, and so we can get our corp members are going to sign the front of it. I'm going to bring a fabric pen, and we're going to get them to sign with their in-game names on it. And then I think on the back, we're going to ask anyone else from eVegas who'd like to come by and sign it. And we're going to have that shirt. I'm going to send that I'm going to get it framed and sent to CCP as a thing for them, like a, hey, thanks for, all the fun memories. So they'll have that. They can put it in the bathroom or whatever they do with it, but we'll do that. Trying to think what else. That's about it for eVegas stuff right there. Eve Trump's baby. You can tell the ones who don't have the kids, right? I'll tell you what right now. So my daughter, she's 18, she graduated. She leaves for school in February, and while we're gone, she's in charge. Like, we're leaving her in charge of the house. She's very responsible. It'll be fine, but she's this is her first time really like totally flying solo with us being gone, and she was like, man, I wanted to go to Vegas too. And I'm like, nope, sorry, you got to take care of the dogs. So yeah, this is our time to play. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good time. 300 plus people have registered to show up for this. So it's pretty cool. Don't forget your masks. Like I said, if you're inside, masks are required unless you're sitting down and eating. Excuse me, if you're having a meal, obviously the mask can be off. However, otherwise it is still a requirement within Las Vegas that you wear a mask indoors. Fremont Street, when you're out on Fremont, it is not required. Okay, so you can walk around on Fremont and have your mask off. And so if you've never been to Fremont Street in Vegas, it's closed off. Cars cannot drive on it in the section that you're in. They call it the Fremont Experience. There's a couple stages that are there. They have live music and so on and so forth. And then there's vendors that are out there and performers, and they have to do this little lottery bid thing. They can't just rent a spot. It's not how it works. They have to put in a bid thing with the city, and they pull lottery tickets, and those people are the ones who get to have their busking station or whatever. There's like stars or squares on the ground, and that's their spot for the night. So that's how that works. So you're not being constantly heckled by people. There are Fremont Street Experience police officers that walk around there that kind of keep things in order so people aren't getting too rowdy. During the evenings, it is quite loud. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of music and stuff. There's zip liners going over your head. There's this the whole street is covered with this big digital tarp cover thing, this big awning that's showing different colors and shapes and all this kind of hallucinogenic shit. It's really cool. Fremont's neat. Okay. The Strip is fun because it's classic Vegas, or what you would expect from Vegas, but Fremont is fun. Britt, thanks very much for the follow. Appreciate it. That scared the hell out of me. I didn't realize I had my sound up that loud. So thank you very much for the follow. But yeah, so looking forward to a really, really good time with that. Smash, have you been to Vegas before?
I have, but I believe I was actually under the age of 18, so it was pretty crap.
Yeah, like you can't really, if you're under 18, actually if you're under 21, but if you're under 18 and trying to do things in Vegas, it can get difficult. I know people talk about, oh, there's lots of stuff you can do with your kids. I got to tell you, and you know, if Kylie were in here, if my wife were in here, she'd be like, oh no, let me tell you all the cool things you can do. I personally wouldn't bring my kid, my teenager to Vegas because, like, number one, if you want to go gamble, they can't be on the gambling floor. They're not allowed. Anytime you walk in and you look under 21, the security is scoping you. Like, they are seriously scoping you. We had when it was 2 times ago we went out there. So this is going back about 5 years ago now. I had gone out there for a convention. I run a dog business, and there's a big convention every year called Super Zoo. It's for people who are in the pet industry. And we were out there for that. And one of my longtime friends, Joe DeToto, we grew up together. He was and he's also in the Marines. He went in the Marines, I went in the Navy. And we hadn't seen each other for 25 years, okay? I mean, since we were kids. But he lived in Vegas. And I had gotten in touch with him through the Facebook, and we agreed to meet up. So I was like, hey, we're going to be over at the D. Why don't you come see us? Well, he showed up with his wife and his son. And his son was like 8 years old. And they walked in through the casino to get to where we were hanging out. We were waiting for a table for Andiamo's, which is a really good Italian restaurant in the D. Can't recommend that enough. Pretty pricey, but it's good. So he cut through the casino to come over to us. They didn't get 15 feet through the door, and security was on him asking why they were walking through there and if they were a guest, why they had their son in there. And even though he's like, oh, my friend's here, we're going to meet him. He's over by Andiamo's. They were basically like, is your friend a guest here? What room is he staying in? Like, they don't let people just do that. They don't just ask and then take their word for it. So they can kind of hassle you a bit if you've got kids around. Yeah, right. So Carbon even said in chat, he was like, because they serve free drinks as long as you're spending money, right? Yeah, there's liquor flying around there. There's gambling, which the casinos have to be careful. They can't. The worst thing that can happen with them is to get a fine or some type of restriction from the Nevada Gaming Commission because an underage person drank or gambled, right? So they've got to be very careful with that. So I understand it. So again, if you're bringing a kid, it's going to limit a lot of what you can do. It's not like a cruise ship. It's not like going on a Carnival ship where you have like babysitting services or the teen zone and stuff like that. You can send your kid off to while you're hitting the booze. Vegas is a little more, you got to kind of alter your trip. Z, this is going to be your first time, right?
It will be.
Right on. Vegas can be expensive, but you could also do Vegas on the cheap. That's one of the reasons why I was really glad they're doing it on Fremont. Fremont is a little less expensive. It's a little more value priced than going to the actual Strip. And again, some people talk about like, oh man, that's like the ghetto area to do that. It's really not. Fremont is fun. Okay. Fremont is a lot of fun. And if you want to go to the Strip, you hop in an Uber and you go down to the damn Strip. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. So anyway, Thunder, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Really excited to be going out for this. Obviously, this is like the 3rd time I've talked about this on the stream now in a few days. I do promise that while I'm out there, I will take some time to do at least one stream. I'm not going to stream the whole time. I'm there to have fun. I'm there to hook up with my friends and chill out. And we've never met each other face to face, these guys in the corp. So we want to build that relationship. So I'm not going to be streaming the whole time, but at some point we will. I do want to show people what's going on there. And I do want to do a couple little quick 2-3 minute interviews that we'll end up putting on YouTube and the podcast, our podcast. Let me go ahead and link that in chat as well for you guys. So it's evelowlife.podbean.com. That's our audio podcast, audio only podcast. That also does get syndicated over to the YouTube channel as well. But that way, I'll do some of that. I'll try to grab Matani at some point and get a soundbite from him. It'll probably be something along the lines of "Eat my ass" or "Shut up, puppy" or something like that. So we'll get that. Maybe we'll try to get Smash. We'll try to get we'll do a little secret camera thing. We'll send Frozen over to go say hi to Mittens, and we'll just video Joe kind of stuttering and sputtering as he tries to go say hi to him. That might be fun.
That'd be great.
He's in the stream right now, so he's probably about to give me shit for saying that. Let's see. Okay, so that's kind of the Eve Vegas portion of the talk. But like I said, I promise we'll make sure that we give you guys a heads up for those that couldn't go. Post pictures and all that other cool stuff. What else? Okay, so a little bit of the things we were talking about before we started the stream up. There's a rumor floating around on Reddit. It's Reddit, but there is a rumor floating around. God, I love this lava core skin, man, on my Redeemer. Just looks so freaking cool. There's a rumor floating around right now that Norhaus, who is the head of fraternity, hold on, I said the F word. I need to rinse my mouth out. Has been banned yet again by CCP. I don't think this has been confirmed yet. I'm not trying to feed gossip or a rumor, but this is a talk show about Eve, so it is what it is. The post that I saw on Reddit was from the guy, I think his name is Fulcrum. He runs the Respect, Honor, Passion LGBTQSI. I don't remember what the whole name of the RHP thing is. That anyway, he is they're I think they're a German corp. Is it a German corp? No, they're maybe they're another. Anyway, I'm screwing some things up there. AOM. Let me go with this. AOM has accused Frat of being the frat head of being banned again, and saying that saying all this kind of bad stuff about them. So the two big Chinese blocks are fighting each other about who was banned and who wasn't. And it had something, I know part of it had something to do with the RHP guys as well. So if you want the actual news on that, go to like Imperium News or listen to Meta Show. They talk about it a little more. And I know that Alex on Declarations of War podcast talked about it as well. But that has been thrown out there. It's very interesting that that's popping up again, because frat was the money source behind Pappy, right? So there's been talk of how they have been accumulating caps and ship stocks and supplies during the whole war, and they were able to kind of really leverage that throughout the war, and now they're pretty much the best positioned, probably financially, coming out of the war on that side. So what does that mean? Don't really know. I wasn't really involved in World War B2 on either side. We were low sec guys, so we were kind of doing our own thing, and then we're kind of hooked up with Wrecking Crew over there in Pravi, so we really didn't participate that much in that stuff. We shot everybody. It didn't matter what side you're on. And we weren't even really part of it back when they were the Wrecking Crew was throwing some support to Pappy. We hadn't even joined up with our alliance, Hardly Competent, at that time. But it looks like there's a little strain going on right now between AOM and Frat. So that's going to be interesting to watch that develop. Why can't I sub? I'm not that bright. That's because I am not affiliated yet, Bricks. I do appreciate you wanting to support, but I need to get about 30 more followers on here, and then I believe that button goes live. So while I really do appreciate that, the best thing you can do for me right now, if you like listening to me run my mouth on here, is to get people to come in and hit that follow button. That would really help me out. I would appreciate that. I need more people watching it. That's the key thing there. I used to have another Twitch account back in the day, and that account, that was back when I used to do my other Eve podcasts, and that account got blitzed out a few years ago. There was some hacking that was involved, and I lost that account, and then it got shut down. So I'm pretty much starting from scratch on this one. But yeah, I do appreciate it. Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate that support. But yeah, seriously, as long as people are coming in and hitting that follow button, that's more important than anything right now. I don't do this for the money. I've got a 9 to 5. I run a business, so I do this for fun. So it's more of an ego stroke for me that you guys want to come in here and listen and watch than to actually to get that money. So I do appreciate it. So yeah, that's the frat thing. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. How you doing over there in Seat World, Chris?
Progress
Being made. I'm gonna hit refresh and see what it looks like.
Have I lost my rolls again yet?
Not yet. I don't
No,
think.
you actually gained them back.
Did he give them back or did you?
Seek gave them back. I actually got it to give them back and hold them back.
I'm seeing that it says 15 failed jobs right now. Kill mail stuff.
It says they're failed, but it's working.
But it's working.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, is it the kill mails? Yeah, the kill mails aren't working yet.
Okay. Anyway, like I said, for you, those of you who are just tuning in, we're in the process of converting our back end stuff from Eve HR, which is a good program. We're not shitting on it, over to Seat, which we've just found is a better, more robust program. And Smashies is over there right now, and he is shoulder deep in the code. So that's why he's not talking much over there. That, and with me, you can't really get a word in edgewise. So I mean, I know how it is. So yeah, he our programmer. That is absolutely correct. So anyway, we're working on that. I say we. It's the collective we. Obviously, I am not doing anything with that because if I touched the code, Smashies would fly to Texas and he would cut off my fingers. So I even turned over my Discord server to him at one point. I was like, okay, because he was like, why are you setting it up that way? I was like, because it looks like it works. And he was like, no, you're stupid. So I just gave it to him and he has it now, and that's it. So that's it. He drives the bus. I just beep the horn. That's my job. So looking at Dotland, let me hit the refresh on this real quick. Something I was seeing on Dotland today that was pretty cool. Some changes. Where'd it go? Looks like Brave is still doing their little operation over there in I gotta zoom in. Sorry guys, I am blind. In Geminate. Looks like they've kind of carved a little piece of space out over there in Geminate, and so far it looks like they're holding on to it, which is strange because I think we had originally been under the assumption that Brave was going to be living in low sec for a while, right? Smash, isn't that the impression we had gotten?
That's what it seemed like. That's what I was going to assume they would do, but who knows with Brave. Brave is Brave.
Brave is Brave. There's been a little bit of drama with them lately too, which it was kind of disappointing to me. Some people, and it's Reddit, so let me put the Reddit disclaimer out there. There was people saying that the whole one of the big sayings with Brave is stay classy, right? Stay classy, have fun. That there was some people throwing shade in their Discord or whatever and being kind of, I don't know, bigotous or whatever they were doing. They were just throwing some shade. And there was apparently someone who was, I don't know, a senior FC or something like that. But that they were saying like, oh, Brave talks about staying classy, but they really don't. Well, I don't know the whole story behind it, but I'm not going to judge the whole group on one guy. Every interaction I've had with Brave, and most of that is involved at the other side of, a fight, right? But I've never had a reason to get pissed at Brave guys. They've always have stayed kind of classy, and their front man Dunk, I've got a lot of respect for him. I mean, I think the guy's funny. I think he really does have a passion for leading his community, and he likes to keep it lighthearted and fun while still moving the ball forward, and that's a hard thing to juggle when you're an alliance leader. That's got to be a hard thing to do, especially with a group as visible as Brave. And then, I kind of feel bad sometimes for Dunk because, I think that the Brave guys ended up taking more damage from their allies during the war than they did from their enemies. And that just kind of sucks. That puts you in a weird position of, with trust issues and whatnot. So I'm glad they kind of did their reset and that they decided they're gonna try to take some space and hold it and kind of get back to roots and then rebuild. So I'm excited to see what Brave will do. I'll cheerlead Brave a little bit for that. There's some cool boys. So looking again, still looking at Dotland. I'm noticing some other developments. There's top Sov changes last 7 days. So Cosmic Coalition, is this who I think it is? Let me see here. No, I'm thinking of someone else. Okay, Cosmic Coalition. Anyway, Cosmic Coalition has some changes. I really don't know who they are, and I'm not going to tell. They're on like Faith of Balas, it looks like. Anyway, Dread Bomb is number 2 on here, and it says Dread Bomb is down 8 systems. Now, I think last time we talked and we checked, they were at 117. As of today, they are at 82 systems, with them being in Imencia, Ketch, Tenerifis, and some in Pravi. So it looks like they are losing Sov. They seem to be a little overextended as it was, but they're losing a good bit over there. They're losing a good bit of Sov. Now that could be intentional. They can be saying, they can be having like a did not want that Sov anyway type of moment where they realize they're overextended. I mean, who was that? Let's see who that was. Hey, Chicklet, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate the follow. When they had like 114 or whatever it was, when they had like 114 Sov locations, and they've got like, they're currently at elite 1337 members. So it turned out to be like 10 members per zone. And I say members, obviously that's not accounts. That's not players behind the keyboard. That's characters, right? That's pilots, right? So tunes, however you want to put it, avatars. So that's a lot. I mean, for some of us that have, I mean, I've got 4 EVE accounts that I talk about, right? So I got 12 characters. So if we say the average, let's just say your average nullsecker has 2 accounts. Okay, you have 2 accounts. That's 6 characters right there, right? So that we'll cut that down by a 6th. They've got, I mean, less than 10 guys, 8 guys to defend each area of space. That's a lot of space to try to defend, right? Now, obviously, you don't have to defend all of it at once, right? But just talking about the spread of it, that's a pretty big spread. Hey, man, thanks for hey, Coz, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. That's a lot of space to try to cover. So, I mean, that just seems like a lot of management issues. And it looks like Black Rose, who they've been kind of in a little bit of a conflict over there, has been taking some space. Now, I may be wrong, but isn't Black Rose the guys that their group Fiction? Isn't that the guys that hey man, thanks for the follow, Foxy, appreciate it. Aren't those the guys that like spam people in the newbie zones, right? Black Rose, isn't that who that is? Like the second you make an account and you're in, Dantan or Kanaban or whatever new area you start in. I only know the MR ones because I have MR characters. So when you start, all of a sudden you start getting emails from these guys, right? The constant freaking Black Rose, and it's Fiction Dot, I think, is who the group is, right? And that's like their main corp. So it kind of drives me nuts seeing that those guys are, I mean, they've got Christ on a crutch. They've got 2,042 characters, and they have Sov-wise, holy cow, man. Changes, that's what I need. 55 Sov. So, but that puts them at like 40 tunes per area. Okay, so that's a little better ratio. Now, that being said, Dreadbomb's got a lot of experience, right? I mean, look at their name. It's Dreadbomb, right? I've been in battles next to Dreadbomb and watched them come in with their cap ships and just here they come, right? So, and Sadao is a amazing FC, okay? That's about the extent I want to talk about Sadao. I think he's an amazing FC. I'm not going to say any more than that. But that's a lot of Sov to try to hold for a group like that. I can imagine it's getting a little difficult. Looks like Deepwater Hooligans are moving, right? I mean, this is what we've heard. They pretty much are pulling out. I think they're moving north, is what I've heard through various little channels. So we'll see there. Deepwater Hooligans lost 4 spots, and but it looks like they did go up from level 2 to level 3 on their ADM in one of their Faith of Ballas zones. So we'll see what's going on there. The map is in flux right now, the Eve map, and that's kind of a cool thing. So World War B2 ends, right? And now all of a sudden we've got, instead of one big battle centered around one area in Delve, we've got little tiny brush fire battles and wars springing up all over the place. I don't know about you guys, but that's the Eve I enjoy, right? It's not just like log into Reddit. What happened today in 1DQ? A bunch of Panhorde guys got killed in a wood chipper. Log back out, come back tomorrow, right? It's actually like, ooh, there's something going on with Brave over in Geminate. There's stuff going on down in Ketch and Immensia, and there's this little upstart group of email spamming Jehovah's Witnesses that are out there that are taking frickin' space. It's all this crazy stuff going on, right? So to me, that's more fun with Eve. Z, as a newer Eve guy, newer compared to Smash and myself, how have you been looking at? Because you kind of came in at the end of the World War B there, toward the last third of it, and now seeing all this other stuff going on. What do you think? Putting you on the spot.
I mean, I never really followed World War B, other than like when Eve posted about, oh, there was a big battle in this place, and then I read about it then. But besides that, I kind of just like did my thing, mined my rocks, and then carried on. So seeing how everything is kind of settling after the war has been very interesting. Just from like watching how the groups are fracturing or rebuilding as each do, and it's been interesting from like a social studies kind of way.
That makes sense. I get what you're saying. Kind of fishbowl-ish looking in.
Yeah, definitely like that.
You've been in. Sorry, guys, I'm showing you the butt of my Redeemer there. You've been in a few of the larger battles. Well, large for us when we've been in Wrecking Crew, and you're also a small gang guy. Like that. That's kind of our niche. So that's where we got you started with us, was doing the small gang stuff, especially low sec. When you've been in the big battles, what as a line member, what has been your experience? What do you feel when you're in those big ass battles? Do you like it? Do you not? I mean, candidly, like as an Eve player, what do you feel about that?
So
there's no wrong answer here.
It's kind of two things. There's this one thing of like, look at all these spaceships flying around and shooting their missiles or whatnot, which is like kind of cool, because it feels kind of like a different skin Star Wars, which is awesome. But at the same time, as like a gameplay kind of thing, it's kind of more just follow around and then push F1, maybe like turn my prop mod on and off. And it's not super exciting in that way. Okay. But like kind of watch it all happen and like watch like Dreadbomb or whoever just like warp in their capital fleet. It is super cool to watch.
Right. Gotcha.
And I haven't experienced very much of the tie-dye, so I don't know if I will enjoy or not.
Nobody enjoys tie-dye. Yeah. Nobody enjoys tie-dye, I'll tell you that right now. Tie-dye sucks. But, so it is the nature of the beast. It's what we put up with so they can have those massive battles.
You better get ready to see a lot of tie-dye in Vegas.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, especially with EDC people there, right? We were just joined. I just pulled Johan Penderson in. Johan is a member of one of our brother corps. He's part of the. I'll let Johan introduce himself. Johan, introduce yourself to the stream.
Thanks, Doug. I'm actually part of LAMO, League of Ordinary Men. We were formerly Beskar and LOSEC. We're just hanging around. taking notes, watching how Doc runs things.
Oh God, that's a horrible thing. You probably just made Smashies fall out of his chair over there. Ugh, right? I'm a very good delegator. Like, Smashies, fix this.
Just make sure you got a tech savvy guy on the side.
Yes,
That's what Felice does.
Yeah, everybody's got to have at least one. At least one. And when I say at least, it's because you don't want to burn that one guy out and then he leaves, or he starts hating on everybody, and he's like, hiring a voodoo priest to curse your family. And yeah, you got to have at least one, so they two preferred, maybe three, so they can share those duties. So yeah, Johan, we were talking about we did a little bit of talk about Vegas. Real excited about that. I don't think you were on, so I'll pop the helmet on again for a second.
Actually, I was. Brittix plays as me. I just, I'm not. I was too lazy to actually remake my account whenever I started playing Eve.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, then I won't go over the helmet again, but that's probably going to be Z's. He'll be earning that, unless something happens in the next couple days. We'll see. Was just going over the map a bit, like you were aware. You know anything? Have you heard anything else about the Deepwater Hooligans guys? It's my impression that they're moving north. Have you heard anything about that?
The only thing I can tell you is that I've been watching Z-Kill and watching Dotland just like you have, and that's kind of the impression that I get. I talked to some friends. I know there's going to be some map movement in the next couple months from Fraternity's couch to the rest of the world, but that's the most significant gossip I've got.
Okay.
Test, I guess, is going to get up, put some hard pants on, and go and try to do something again.
That'll be interesting. I could just imagine for the line members over in Test right now. There's got to be a lot of mixed feelings about how everything's gone. I mean, obviously, we know that from listening to the Imperium, the war is not over. Like, the phase 1 is over, so that's it. Now the counter assault begins at some point, I'm sure. But I can just imagine for the Test guys, after persecuting that for so long, and then to just kind of have everything kind of get dumped in a bucket and pushed to the side. A lot of mixed feelings over there.
Well, that's for sure. There's a lot of guys that really, they put a lot into it. I've got a couple of friends that, I mean, that's ultimately why I left Test, was I was just sick of we weren't doing anything. We were just basically sitting there. Either you fly through the wood chipper in an interceptor and you can talk some smack in local, or you can pretty much fly through the wood chipper and anything else and die. That was the options.
Mm-hmm.
That 1DQ gate was constantly camped on both sides. Ops ground to a halt. There was no strategic objectives left. It's either we do or we don't. Are we going into 1DQ? Or are we not going into 1DQ? And nobody, there became a communication vacuum. And that's just toxic. When you've got a bunch of guys ship spinning, like you said on the podcast, man, you totally nailed it. That you've got to have that culture. You've got to have, all right, well, we've got a fleet in 20 minutes. Who wants to go play 7 Days to Die? Or we've got a fleet in an hour. Who wants to go play, those types of things really keep these guys going, because they are beyond, there's a culture, a relationship that, all right, well, let's all tab out of Eve for a minute and go do something together in another game.
Yeah. And something we've been doing lately is we've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves, and it's interesting because it's not like we hate Eve, we're done with Eve. That's not the case at all. It's just we've been hard charging with this corp now for 13 months. We've been like putting blood, sweat, and tears into it daily, and I needed to shift focus a little bit, and I started playing some Sea of Thieves. Some of the other guys started playing with us too, and we tried a bunch of different games. We were trying some Red Dead, and everything we played was like, what's a game? And again, low sec guys, right? So small gang type of stuff. What's a game that we can get into as a small group, 4 to 6 guys, run around and play, and then put it aside when we're done with it? That was kind of the attitude we wanted. We tried some Red Dead 2. We tried Foxhole. Some of the guys have been doing some Borderlands playthroughs, Smashies and Z and Raws in them. You can find that on their Twitch channels. They've been doing that. We've been trying a bunch of different things, and nothing really it was like throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And it seems like Sea of Thieves is kind of to stick a little bit, Number one, because it's easy to just put down. We can set it to the side for a little bit and then get back in Eve and go do whatever we're doing, or, go with the family or whatever we're doing. Number two, to me, it is a lot like low sec. We are pirates. We hop on a ship. We go blow somebody up and steal their stuff, and then we sail away laughing. Or we get blown up and they sail away laughing. To me, it's like Sea of Thieves could be called, Jamodi. It could be called Masaba. To us, to me, it's very similar to that play style. So we have a lot of fun with that. But we also get to all be on one ship, and one guy's operating sails, and the other guy's loading the cannons, and one guy's patching the holes, and then we've got Smashy's on the helm, and he's parking these ships like a freaking NASCAR pro. So we've been having a lot of fun with it. Does that mean we're done with Eve? Absolutely not. What it means is our corporation, our gaming group, we are at that point that Eve is what ties us all together, but it's not all that ties us together. So that's been very important to us. We get to branch out and do that things in other places, and that's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So, and it actually gives me taking that breather allows me to come back in here to Eve and enjoy what we're doing here just a little bit more. So, been having fun with that. I know a lot of you guys, Johan, you guys have been playing a lot of the remastered Diablo stuff, right?
So, yeah, I have specifically. Even got Executor. We both realized we both have a sadistic love of the game. But we were looking for something that was a little more grindy than Eve, and we found it. I mean, I'm 41, so I remember when Diablo came out my senior year of high school. I was just like, oh, wow, this is great. Mm-hmm. And I played way too much of that. I can hear cows in my sleep to this day. And now that that voice has been refreshed and we're just ready to go again. That's cool. I had on one monitor last night, I had Eve up, and on the other monitor, I was killing cows.
What was that? What's that guy's name? You get Tim? Is it Timmy's leg? What is it?
Wirt's leg, man.
Wirt's leg. Who was Timmy? Wasn't there something with Timmy in there too?
I think it was Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld off of South Park. What was the band?
Thinking of no.
Timmy.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know that. I'm thinking of, was it Tim the Wizard? Like they did a play on the Holy Grail. It'll come to me at some point. I'll bring it up to you, but that's not. It's neither here nor there for this conversation.
I'm always into Easter eggs.
Yeah, I love Easter. I love them in everything too. Like not even just like in a game. Like we were watching. What was it? I'm having an issue now. We were watching something the other day, and it was freaking Modern Family of all things. Okay, we're watching Modern Family, and Ed O'Neill, Ted Bundy, is one of the stars of that show, and he's sitting on the couch reading the newspaper. And I saw this. I found this little trivia bit on. Went to IMDb to look something up, and it was talking about how in that scene when he uses the newspaper, it is the newspaper he uses in the intro to Married with Children. That he kept that newspaper prop. So when he did that scene, he brought that from home from his collection, and he popped up the Al Bundy newspaper. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I love Easter eggs.
That is awesome.
Timmy's leg was part of the staff, Carbon just said in chat. See, I knew there was something about a Timmy.
Timmy's leg? What? Where does Timmy's leg? Come on, Carbon. Enlighten me, brother.
I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see.
It's Wirt's leg. WIRT''S. I've been farming that sucker for, I don't want to talk about it, but it's...
Wirt's leg, you're right, okay. Let me see. I'm going to put in...
I do remember Timmy was like a zombie or something.
Was it? Was he a zombie?
Is that in Diablo 3, though?
The player takes it too. Maybe. Okay. Lil Timmy.
Ooh. Little Timmy.
Lil Timmy is the son of the crazy cat lady from Elwee Fars. What's from Secret Cow Level 2 in Diablo 2. It's a Diablo 2 thing.
Huh.
So, yeah. All right. Anyway, so again, I'm totally rabbit holing here. Sorry about that.
No, you know what's great is I just looked it up too, and he's actually a Warcraft character as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Walks around Stormwind. It's kind of cool how all these things cross over.
Right. Let's see what else has been going on in the wide world of Eve. I'm looking at the Sov map right now. Let's see here, and my vision is horrible, guys, and I didn't grab my glasses. So, again, we've got Brave doing their little thing there, which is cool. I'm not going to lie. I would love to see Frat dissolve. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but if you've listened to my podcast, you know I have no love for those guys. I'm sure there's good people in Frat. I've just never met one. There's some drama going on with that Federation of Respect, Honor, Passion Alliance. Apparently, if you don't know who they are, they're a group that likes to... They blue everybody. They set everybody to blue, and they will apparently pay people not to fight them. And somebody is now fighting them, and they don't like it, and they've taken to Reddit thinking that that is the best way to gain sympathy. That's going to backfire. Oh, Volta. They're fighting with Volta. Apparently, Volta has decided that the RHP guys are not worth their time, and they're hitting back at them. So
that's not going to work out well.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. I don't really know anything about the Respect, Honor, Passion Alliance. I thought they were Asian, but somebody the other day said that they were German. I don't know. All I know is that Army of Mango Alliance and Frat are pretending they hate each other, yet I've also heard reports that they've been seen on test server together doing combined ops.
I'll tell you this. I saw something that was a little disconcerting the other day. In my alliance situation, we saw a PBIC Fleet 1 and PBIC Fleet 2.
Huh.
If you're familiar with PBIC, that was the group that pretty much, I don't know, took over the entire Serenity server in China. And then,
they PvE'd it.
Yeah, so they are now Army of Mangoes, and Army of Mangoes is over here. They're living in Esoteria. I don't know what the deal they had with Test, but Test got the raw end of that one. But anyway, yeah, they had a PBIC fleet up the other day. Huh. So I guess that PBIC is alive and well and currently on Tranquility.
That's disconcerting, like you said. I don't like to hear that, and there's no xenophobia with this, guys. It's strictly the play style that they did on their server would destroy, just like it did theirs. It would destroy our server. It would destroy Eve. I can't imagine any real Eve player that would say it would be a good thing if this game went totally Care Bear. I can't imagine that. Now, I know there's people out there that say, man, I wish there was less ganking and less PvP. I can see some people saying that depending on their play style. Excuse me. But without it, this game becomes... it's not even boring. This game becomes non-existent. That would kill my New Eden that I love, that I've loved for 17 years. It would kill it. So it worries me to see that stuff. So Foxy in chat says, Frat are ruining the game. They're holding most of their SOV with bots. Totally understand and totally agree. And that's not just people throwing vim and vinegar out there on it. This is truth. If you do a filament roam and you end up in Frat space, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to see a fleet of Ishtars instantly dock up. Number two, within minutes, you're going to see marauders flying through gates to totally lock you down and get you out of their space. They do not play. They do not want you in their space. They will completely overwhelm you. They're going to kick you out. So that's what they do. And, we've kind of joked with them. We've been flying through there, and we've tagged their ESS just to make them show up. And when they show up and they're coming in paladins and whatnot, when we'll start messing with them, be like, man, how does that work? Like, did somebody did your little app on your phone ring and tell you that your bots are in danger, or did they come and bang on your jail cell and tell you to get back at the keyboard? Like, how does that work? Like, we were really messing with those guys with it, but we shit talk local. It's to us, it's fun. But Frat space is interesting. When you go through Frat space, but you know what, Johan, at the same time, we've gone through Mango space and it's a ghost town. I don't know if you've cruised through there ever or filamented down there, but like we've actually looked through it and be like, man, we can move in here. They wouldn't even know for 2 weeks that we were living here.
Buddy, I watch contracts a lot because, well, that's just kind of a thing for me. I buy way too much junk, and they've had a lot of interesting things for sale down in Esoteria. I've also taken my Estero down there, and I still have my bookmark folder from whenever I was in test, and I've been able to successfully go down and basically steal the relic sites unchallenged. Nobody on gates, nobody around. I can tell you this, that they are not botting down there because I don't think they live down there.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it was very strange. And this is before, this was before the end of World War B, that the last time I filamented down there. But I mean, we cruised, we jumped. I'm going to say we made a dozen jumps. This is not an exaggeration. We made a dozen. Z, were you on that roam when we went through Mango? And it was like a dozen jumps before we even saw one other character besides us and local. And then probably a total of 20 jumps before we saw anybody that was even willing to try to engage us. We did like a Tall War roam or something.
Was that the MOA ESS room?
Maybe it was my birthday roam.
Yeah, I believe that's when we went through Mango Space.
July.
And I don't remember seeing anybody on that one.
You're right. It was the most boring roam we've ever taken on a filament roam because we couldn't get anyone to engage us, and there was like one ESS to rob, and I think it was like 5 million.
I think I got like 10 million from one.
Yeah, it was super. Like, we ended up just burning another filament just to go try to find some action because it was hard. Our MOAs actually survived. We survived an ESS filament roam. How the hell's that happen?
In MOAs, that's just a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the intent. Like, we were out. It was the 17th birthday of my character Aridus Ganel. So he had July 5th, 2004 is when I made that character, and that week of this just past year, we did a birthday roam in July, and lo and behold, we ended up in AOM space, and it was just empty. So weird. Felice says, I have the worst filament luck. 9 times out of 10, I end up in frat space. That happens. The last filament roam we took as a corp, we ended up like 5 jumps from 1 DQ, so we were instantly on radar. We jumped around a little bit until we could filament again. We popped a filament, and it filamented us like 3 zones over from where we just were. I was like, really, CCP? So it was funny too because the goons on Intel just turned around and came. They're like, "What? How did you do that?" And we're like, "We filamented again." They're like, "That's just shit luck, bro." Yep, that was. So we always end up in goon space when we filament, or back in Pravi. That's always fun. We launch out in low sec and we end up in our own space. It's just crazy. So
on my kill board way back in the day, I remember I lived in Pravi originally, and we took out a Vexor roam, and we were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go and fight somebody." And we got about 2 jumps into goon space, and I saw my first 2 faction super carriers as they decimated the 5 Vexors we took out.
Oh,
it was beautiful. I mean, it just kind of introduces you to goon culture. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go kill this ant that came in the house with a sledgehammer.
Yep, that's been our experience whenever we end up in like Panhorde space. Their intel tends to be pretty good when we've been up there. We'll roam around 3-4 jumps or whatever, or be heading toward like one of the ESSs, and pretty soon like they just start showing up and blocking gates, and they're always kind of cool about it. I mean, I haven't had any issues with them about them being dicks, but you know, they're always like, "What are you guys doing here?" We're like, "Filament roam," and they're like, "Okay, well, we're about to send you home real quick," and we're like, "All right, let's do this." So, you know, it is what it is.
They have a great program up there for their new bros, though. You know, they try to encourage them really to just kind of like Karmafleet does. They get them into ships. They get them into the habit of losing ships and fighting and just getting them into that rotation of, yeah, it's okay to die.
Yep.
As long as you take another guy down with you, you did a great job.
Yep. Yeah, do what you can. Go out kicking and screaming. So, and I think if more groups did that, if more groups had that as part of their program, they'd be better off. I think a lot of times people become very risk averse in EVE, and that's the whole, you know, we've got shinies, like, you know, I've got this is, you know, well over $1.5 billion, my blop ship I got here, and I would say people who own blot ships in EVE right now, if we did a head count, I'd say 75 to 80% of them won't even undock them, or they just use them for transport. You know, they just use them to light a covert op sino. But the guys who really have fun with these ships are the ones who actually are hot dropping people with them. So getting somebody who's, you know, you get rid of that aversion to risk is a good thing. Now, that doesn't mean people should go out and be dropping, you know, blingy ass shit every other day. That's not the point of that. But you do have to experience EVE, and then that will give you the experience to use cooler things. But at the same time, the coolest ship I've ever flown, like the most fun I've had in ships, is a Rifter. So by far, I've had more
Hell
fun in
yeah.
Rift. Yep, I've had more fun in Rifters than anything. So, and they cost less than half a million a piece. So,
There is something to be said for the strength of a Rifter, both as a ship and as a tool. I mean, man, I remember my first Rifter. It was great. I felt like I was invincible in that thing, and the model's crazy cool. And you don't realize that it's held together by duct tape and prayer, but it's great. And I think every new bro needs a Rifter, and if not a Rifter specifically, a Rifter equivalent, right?
yeah, exactly. Any of those little ships. I mean, Atrons are fun. I've had fun in them. Punisher. See, I didn't start off my Eve career in a Rifter. That was when I met Cypher years later into my 2010. So for that first 6 years though, like the Punisher was my ship. I loved the Punisher, man. That was just a cool little ship to fly around in. And I think a lot of that is coming back again to Eve. I do. And I don't want to scarcity. God, I hate saying this. Scarcity and them completely screwing up the ability to build faction and capital ships has made, I think, a lot more people say, let's do that Rome. Sorry, that was my phone. Let's do that Rome in the newbie ships, so to speak. And let's go have fun. And it helps people remember why we used to get in those ships and go out. I remember when at one point I had a character in multiplex gaming, and this was back when Far From Pukin and I were collaborating. This is 2011, 2012, and we were collaborating on forming Podside, which was kind of like the an open mic for podcasters. Any podcaster that was part of like Tweet Fleet and stuff could go ahead and say, hey, this Saturday I want to get on and I got stuff I want to talk about. And I hopped in. I dropped a character in his corp, and with him and Cypher, and we started doing. They're like, "Here, let's go do some Rifter roams." And I was like, "Are you for real right now? Like, we're gonna get out on Rifters?" And they're like, "Yeah, man, just take it. Let's go." They gave me like 10 of them, and we went out and we blew up, and we went back and we got another one, and we did it again. I had more fun doing that than I've had in a lot of things, and I love bombers. Like the Purifier, I mean, look at my name, Purifier Jack. I love the Purifier. I love to do things with my bomber. I think that they're like the most tactical tool in Eve. Bombers, love them. But still have had more fun in a goddamn Rifter. By far. And I'd like to know, any of you guys in chat, post up what's your favorite ship to fly around. Like your favorite little Tech 1, outfit it and quit it ship. I'd love to know what you guys like. Okay, so Kestrel. Kestrel is a fun ship. Heck yeah. I use Kestrels for when I was learning how to do abyssals, because I felt that the Kestrel was very forgiving. I don't know how else to put it, but it was a very forgiving hull, and it helped me learn how to do the low level abyssals. So the Tristan is a fun ship, and the Tristan's cool because if you're really into you think drones are cool, which I'm a pet class guy. When I play MMOs and stuff, I like pet classes. The Tristan's kind of a good little entryway to that, right? So that's kind of cool. I can't really think of a bad. Every race in Eve kind of has at least one good frigate, right? I mean,
I gotta say that the Tristan for me was my Vexer. I may have spent an obscene amount of money collecting Tristan skins. I have all but 2 right now.
Cool.
I actually screwed up and redeemed the new green apple skin to the wrong tune on Johan's account. So don't worry, CCP is going to get to my ticket one of these years.
Are they tradable or are they instant to account?
Instant to account. So
Damn.
I'm hoping that they help me out, man, because that is just an awesome skin.
I was going to say I'd give you mine if that was the case. If that's really your ship, I would give it to you. But if I can't, I can't.
I mean, I have several extras if I could.
Yeah. And hopefully see if we can get the podcast up to I used to have, guys, my podcast, I used to have 10,000 downloads every time we did a podcast back in the day, but I'm rebuilding. I've got to get it up a little more to in our listens, and then I can get back onto the Eve partner thing, so that way we can start doing giveaways with the skins. And I'm excited to give away skins with that. That's, to me, that's a lot of fun, is to have people in chat, X up, and we randomly pick somebody, and here, I'll give you a skin right in the game. So hopefully we get to that at some point. So help me get followers. I'm begging for support on that. That's me begging right there. I'm shilling.
What's the best way to help you with that? Is it to download it or just listen like on the website?
Listen and
download?
share it. Yeah, listen to it, share it. That way, because I just have to be able to prove to CCP. I just basically I send them a screenshot of my analytics page showing that I've got to have 500 downloads a month, and it's funny because I get so close every time, but honestly, it's not that it's the popularity issue of it. I think people are actually enjoying the podcast. It's more of I'll do it for a couple weeks and then I get burned out a little bit and then I don't do it. And then of course, if there's a lag in anything involving, content creation like this, then you start losing, instantly the attrition starts. So, thankfully, the new podcast I just put out the other day, which talks about the title is "The Best Ship is Friendship" or Why Pappy Lost the War. It's all about EVE culture and having a corporate or alliance culture, and why that's very important. We kind of been touching on it the whole time we've been talking now for this almost hour and a half, which is, you've got to have you got to have friends in EVE, but you also have to have things in common outside of EVE, or else when EVE gets boring, you'll go and find other friends, right? So we like to talk about our culture in ODC because we do things together outside of EVE. Like I said, play Sea of Thieves, other games. Smashies obviously likes to hang out and code his ass off with people. He's gonna kill me.
Totally not dropping pictures right now.
And then, I think it's neat that for such a small crew, we have such a large percentile of our members that are going to EVE Vegas because we all want to meet each other, right? And it's not that we're wealthy guys, because we're really not. But we're making that effort because, we've really developed some good friendships over this past 13 months, and that's really cool. I'm not trying to get sappy with it, but these are some of the best guys I've ever hung out with and playing games before. Like, I really, really enjoy logging on and not just playing a game, but like finding out how people's day was. You know what I mean? Like, when Frozen comes on and he tells us how his day was or how his kids are doing, or, Z's telling us about some of the cool stuff he does. He does sword fighting. Like I don't know really how to explain it, Z. I'm not going to go into it on it. That's kind of your thing, but like, he has other hobbies that he does and we like to hear about it. Smashies wrestles alligators because he lives in Florida. So there's all this stuff that we do. Don't you all wrestle alligators down there? Isn't that like a thing?
Look, man, if you're going down the road and there's an alligator right in the middle of the road, it's kind of like you're supposed to get out and, get it off the road.
Right. See, and yeah, like Coz is in chat right now. He says, I want to meet JP and Fleece. That's cool. There's a thing. We're actually going to get to meet one of the Beskar guys when we're out in Vegas. Sharon Bond's going to be out there. I've been talking to him. Besides my guys in ODC, Sharon is the only other RC member, Wrecking Crew member, that we've been able to find out that is going to EVE Vegas. I've asked a bunch of times and that was it. It's kind of strange because you look at like the number of goons that are going, you look at the number of NC Dot that are going, you look at the number of Pan that are going. Looking in the EVE Vegas Discord, I see an ass ton of AMOC tags, an ass ton of Busa tags. So you can see these groups that are like, they obviously have something. There's obviously some type of a culture behind that tag, right? So, and now let me clarify this. I'm not knocking people who can't go to EVE Vegas. I'm not saying you're not dedicated to your corp if you don't. That is not what I'm saying. There's a lot of corps that are, you guys live all over the world, right? Felice from Lamo and Beskar, he lives in Britain. So he's not going to be coming over here to Vegas. There's travel restrictions. He's a busy guy. He works with in a very important field. So that's understandable. It's not knocking people who can't. However, you can see some of these core groups like MPX, Multiplex Gaming, Far From Pukin's guys, right? They're making like mugs and shot glasses, and they've got mouse pads that have been made up for swag bags and all this cool stuff. They rented out, dry mouth. Pardon me.
Gotta hydrate.
I'm telling you, man, and I'm running low. My Fody is almost out. My little hydrocell here is almost out. I'm gonna have to text my daughter here in a second, get her to come give me a refill. Carneros, who runs Bastion over in the Imperium, on Eve Vegas Discord, Bastion rented out an entire movie theater to do a showing on Saturday afternoon of Dune, the new Dune movie, and it was free to anyone attending Eve Vegas. It's it's filled up now, but how cool is that? Like, these guys were like, you know what, we're going to do this for our guys. Let's just rent out an effing theater and we'll open it up to anyone from Eve who wants to come watch Dune with us. Tell me that ain't cool. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to know how many of you guys that are like in like a World of Warcraft guild that has been around for years have ever done something like that. It just doesn't happen very often. That's an Eve thing. And we're biased, but I mean, I've played a lot of freaking games over the years and been in a lot of different groups. And I've never seen the level of community dedication in any of them like I do with the community of Eve. You know, CCP's good. They're good people. They try. And I love the things they do. FanFest is amazing. Been 4 times. Fucking love FanFest. But the community events that go on, Eve London, Eve Vienna, Eve Vegas. There's a meetup coming up January 14th and 18th in DC. I mean, I'm already talking to my wife, trying to convince her, like, hey, can we go hang out with Brisk and them at Eve DC? It's not even like a real like full meetup. It's just like a meetup they're doing. They're organizing it. Like, can we go to DC for 4 days? It's Martin Luther King weekend. We can take off and go over. So, but my wife is a Texan, and if it gets below 70 degrees, she thinks she's in the Arctic. So I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to go. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, we are biased, sure, but with good reason, Colin. Absolutely right. And because we can actually show the metrics of it, right? We can actually show the metrics of it.
Well, I tell you, I found out where Felice is going for Christmas, and I know that it's about 2 hours away from me, and I just don't know how he's going to tell his family he's going to come hang out.
Oh boy. Dun, 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 dun. Now see that you say that, now I'm wondering, I'm like, man, now I'm going to have to be shooting some Discord messages, because if I got to be getting on a plane and hopping to the Midwest at some point this Christmas, I need to know early so I can buy tickets so I can meet y'all. So
absolutely.
Because I will fly in for fucking lunch. Do not tempt me.
You know, I met 2 really good friends. We're traveling through. They were going to be on I-80 up in Chicago, and they were like, yeah, we're going to come and see you. I was like, no way. And sure enough, the whole day we were talking, you know, and we all got together, and we all went out to dinner, and it was just a great, like, surreal experience. It's like, holy crap, I don't have to push to talk to these guys right now. You know,
right?
We're just chilling here. It is such a unique, very Eve thing. I mean, I know World of Warcraft back in its heyday had a lot more of that community. BlizzCon used to have that type of atmosphere, but the thing is that Eve's maintained it a lot longer with a core following that's just not dilutable.
Right.
You know, the people who are into this game are into this game and will always come back to it. You don't win Eve. You just get to take a little break and maybe recoup.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
WoW lost that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you that. Coz, are you still in chat?
Let me see. I can see if he still is. There might be a little bit of a delay there. It looks like he is still in chat.
I'm curious, how long were you away, Coz? Because I know Coz took like quite an extended break. Another good friend of mine, Cryptix, took a good break and came back, and the whole game was different. It was kind of cool just to see the, you know, from their perspective. These guys have taught me 10 years. So these guys have taught me so much about, you know, things I didn't know in Eve because I've not played that long. But it's just so cool to these older guys that have. Funny thing is, I'm the older guy, but older in Eve guys, you know, they're explaining, you know, POS mechanics, and before POSes we did this, and it's like, oh wow, you know, that would be so cool. And you know, I've done the conga line repping a POS, and it's an experience I'm glad I had, because a lot of people don't understand. Well, you didn't just used to sit and wait the timer out. You had to actually get in a bunch of sites, and you'd go do the conga line around your POS. And it's just great to have the generations of Eve, right?
Yep.
You got guys like you who are teaching guys like me the way things actually, you know, work.
Yeah, you know, it's neat too, because like the other day we were talking about we've got some operations coming up here in the next few weeks, like corporate stuff. Nothing big, just like little things we're doing. And we were trying to figure out how we were going to do things based on game mechanics. And one of the things that came up is such an archaic method of doing things that's still in the game, but it will work for us. And it was one of those things like never, if we hadn't have played for as long as we have, we would have never thought to go back to something we used to do 15 years ago to make this work. And it was just, I kind of had one of those moments like, I did something. I contributed. My old ass contributed. So that's the beauty of Eve. And you can be in it 10 days or you can be in it 12, 15 years and you're still learning about it. Thank you.
Somebody's going to teach you something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, somebody schools me every day in Eve. Either they're blowing my ass up and I learn something or yeah. My favorite was the first time I got killed in nano gangs and I was like, what the fuck is a nano gang? So yeah, there's always something. I like this ship. I don't know why. I like the Explorer. I like the look of it.
I bought the emergency responder skin.
I can't say why.
They're beautiful.
Let me see it here. Yes, I named it Bitch Stickers. I got the Spirit skin on there. That's why. I was wondering what skin I had on there. But that's pretty cool. We call these, in our corp, we call them wee-woo skins.
No, it's the orange one you get on your Guardian. That's when I have my
Oh, my traffic cone, my roadside assistance. I come by to change your tire. Yeah, that is an obnoxious skin, but yes, I will definitely use it.
It also has weeboos.
Oh, we're gonna have to adjust that bot. Thank you. We I don't care if people cuss in here, but I haven't adjusted the bot, so I apologize from that. Who knows with this thing, man? Sorry about that, Coz. You probably said like derp, and it took offense to it.
So very politically correct.
Yeah, who knows? Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna start let me get to another topic, and then we're gonna kind of start trying to wrap this up a little bit. I don't want people to have to sit and listen to me yap this long. So let me see if there's any other news we got to do. We talked a little bit about what Dotland looked like. We talked about Sov Space. I have noticed that like Imperium.news is now going back to, which for over a year was just obnoxious. It was just propaganda, right? Now we're actually seeing some good analysis and op-eds on there about just general things in Eve. There's even a faction warfare report on there from about 9 days ago that somebody submitted. I was like, whoa. You know, there's still some propaganda on there, but I'm actually seeing real news again. How cool is that? Like Eve is healing, guys. Nature is healing. So, what about you, Johan? You got any other news you can think of? Anything cool that's been going on?
I tell you, I'm going to be watching the map pretty closely over the next couple of weeks, man. I want to see what's going to happen. It kind of feels like Eve is, I guess, you know, they always say that destruction is what, you know, like you destroy your muscles when you work out and it builds back stronger, right?
Right.
It seems to me like Eve as a whole is just finished a really big workout and everything's just all torn up. And I'm like, I've been watching Brave a lot because I'm really glad that Duncan, his guys are taking their place in the world again. Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad they're independent of test because, well, Brave's been kind of a meme, you know. They've always done their thing. They've always stayed true to themselves. You know, it's interesting to watch all these little groups. Like, I mean, Black Rose. Mm-hmm. These dudes started spamming noob zones, and now they're fighting for Sov, and they're going up toe to toe with some bigger dudes, and they're winning some stuff.
Yeah, they are.
It's just interesting to see these things. So I think that, you know, recarving the map up is a good thing. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on that.
Only my daughter can fuck up a bottle of water. That's all I'm going to say.
Please tell us, how did this happen?
Okay,
Did she burn water?
I love my daughter. She's an amazing girl. She's a very talented girl. She's going to be. I own a dog training business, right? Very popular, very successful here in Houston. She's going to be going to school for that. It's an actual accredited trade school. Okay, it's called Star Mark Academy in Austin, Texas. It's very expensive. She's paying for it herself, right? She decided not to go in the military, which kind of hurt a little bit, but that's okay. That's her thing. She did 4 years of junior ROTC for the Marine Corps, and I thought she was going to be a Marine, but she decided not to. It's her choice. But she's going to be a dog trainer. Okay, cool. Family biz. She does amazing things with animals. She is amazing with animals. She's a very patient person. She's very good with kids. But God damn it, that kid can't clean a fucking kitchen. Like, I can't get her to do just basic shit. So apparently there's a straw inside of this, and somehow it has never detached ever, except until I handed it to her to put water in a bottle. So.
Oh, that's classic.
Oh, by the way, on the front of a dishwasher, I'm going to ask you guys this, and this is for chat too, okay? On the front of a dishwasher, after you fill it, you put the stuff in, right? You got all your pots in there. You make sure there's nothing hitting the spinny thing so it doesn't go doink, doink, doink all night. There's something you got to do to make those dishes get clean. What is it?
Add soap.
Well, no, let's say you've added the soap. You've already closed the door, right? So everything's good to go.
Turn it on.
You got to turn it on, right? So for 6 years now, her job has been to do the dishes. That's her job. I think she's hit the button to turn it on maybe 5 times. Every other time I have to go into the kitchen and hit the button. So they'll just sit there ready to go for like 2 hours until I walk in there and go, boop. I don't know, guys.
Let me tell you, man, my boys are geniuses. Both of them are brilliant. They know that the dishwasher gets clean, the dish is clean, and they know how to use it. What they don't ever do is take the food off the plates.
Yes.
So you get like some pile of funk at the bottom of the dishwasher. And I don't know how many times I've made them scoop the water out of the bottom with a cup and then get their little paws in there and rake that crap out.
Yeah. Well, okay, so again, going down the rabbit hole, at the business I run, we have kennels there, and got to feed the dogs. And in our feeding room there, our kitchen, I used to have a dishwasher and a disposal for them. And the rule was always, after the dogs are done, if there's anything in the bowl, you scrape it out real well, you clean it, and then you put it in the sanitizing dishwasher to sanitize it. They're stainless steel bowls. So it's not a hard process, right? I have gone through so many disposals, and I have had so many dishwashers break. And it's not like, oh man, it's just because you use, you got a lot of dogs and it goes through. When you're feeding 80, 90 dogs and you got all those dishes. Well, yeah, the dishwasher breaks because these younger folks, they don't scrub out the frickin' thing first. And this is what I get from them. Well, why have a dishwasher if I've got to clean the dish first? You see the hair going away, guys? Do you see it? That's what it's from. It's from questions like that. So it's just that kind of crazy shit. Vigil, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. So anyway, I was trying to get a drink of water, and I almost some weird vacuum suction thing happened because she managed to figure out how to detach that straw. I don't know, man. That's like Eve wise. Jade Cougar. Okay. Jade Cougar, Lost in Eve podcast. Jade's a great guy. I don't know if you guys know who he is. I hope you would. Jade has like where I have like the annoying shock jock radio voice for doing podcasts. Jade has the Asmer voice, which will put you to sleep or just completely seduce you while he's telling you all about the market that's going on today in Jeddah. So, I mean, I love listening to Lost in Eve. Jade is a great guy, okay? His latest podcast was, he talks a little bit about the economic metrics, and he does a comparison of like last year versus this year from September to September, and he's showing how, like we were talking about Eve is healing, he's talking about how mining is up in the areas of the war, and like not only a little, like tremendously. Mining is up, sales are up, ratting is up, everything is going up, 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 and up again, which is good because that means hopefully prices will start going down, 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 and down. Because I'll tell you what, my freaking, was it my Gila? Do I have it in here? Or do I think I was moving some stuff around, so I don't have it in here. The price of a Gila right now is insane. The price of a Phantasm right now is insane, like stupid insane. And here, I'm going to blow everybody's eyes out now. Right, there's the wee-woo skin on the freaking Guardian. The prices on these hulls, these faction hulls, has been just crazy because when they did this new program, this new industrial redo, if it's got a green star on it, if the hull's got a green star on it, it's basically like almost like capital level effort to get these damn things built. Not material, but effort. Like, they put all this crazy ass shit, all these reactions and da-da-da-da-da. And the price of these ships have gone through the roof. And it's absurd because, like, I don't know about you guys, but I know Smashies doesn't like it, but I love to fly the Gila. That's one of my, like, I'll say it's one of my top 10 in Eve, is the Gila. And, like, I've got a few of them, but I'm almost, like, becoming risk averse to pull them out because of the damn cost associated with them. Shut that down. But yeah, I mean, you guys tell me what you think. Shoot me a message or whatever. Some of these costs have just been crazy. I'm really hoping they start to come down. I know PI's been a big player. PI and Reactions has been a player in the new stuff, and that's cool that they're getting that going. But I don't know. I miss the days of cruising out there and a bunch of guys in Gilas and doing stuff. So, you guys,
what's crazy? Talking about the piggybacking onto your ship discussion, there's if you look at RavWorks, I don't know if you guys use that, and I'm sure Frozen does, but the cost of a Revelation is about $8 bill to build it. Mm-hmm. So when you're seeing these $4 and $5 bill Revelations, those are investment opportunities because the fresh ones don't cost that. Yeah,
Meta Show last week, Mitani actually touches on that. He kind of goes on a rant about it. But he's right. Like, it wasn't like his usual, eat my ass type of rant. It was pretty much any dreadnoughts you see for sale in Eve right now on the contract market, they're not new builds. They are mothballs that are being sold for a profit. Simply because the threshold to build new dreads is so high right now that they're not rolling off the industrial lines like they used to. So there's very, very few coming off. And it's interesting because we had just started a major dread project with our corp. And, for some large players in this game, pumping out capital ships used to be like not a big deal. For our little corp, it's a big project for us, but it's fun because we set goals. We assign teams. You guys are working on this. You guys are working on ore. You're my gas guys because you're in the recon division, so you're jumping holes looking for gas. You guys over here that are my PvPers, make sure you got your PI set up, and we're going to be pinging you every couple days in our industrial channel saying, remember your PI, so you can log in and check it. And we make it a whole corp thing. And then, like, the goal was, like, we build 3 dreads. One gets mothballed for the fleet to put away for a while. One gets sold on the open market for a profit. And then the third one gets sold off within the corp at cost to someone who helped with the project. And then we can, sell it to them. We'll do like a lottery pull, and that's the person that gets to buy it at cost. So there was a lot of incentive for guys to get involved with that. And we were having fun with it. And it reminded me back in the day of when Titans first came out and all the nullsec groups were trying to be, we're going to build a Titan for our corp. Well, there's people now that have like 3 and 4 Titans that they're stored. You know what I mean? From years of just too much material out there. But I think between World War B2 and scarcity, what CCP set out to accomplish, which is to drain a lot of the reserves, I got to say, mission accomplished, guys. Can we get off of it now? And I know they've been talking about it. I'm supposed to have CCP Dopamine be coming on the show at some point. My little dog back there is snorting and stuff rolling around. So he's supposed to be coming on, or he was going to bring a dev on with him, one of the guys from the team that's working on scarcity, and we're going to talk about it. That keeps getting pushed back a bit because they're working on projects. Not a big deal. But is anyone seeing a little bit easing of the pressure now that the war's over and scarcity is slightly being scaled back? I mean, or they've talked about it being scaled back? I don't know. I'm asking. Anybody?
I mean, the Orca prices come down like 300 mil or 500 mil, because that a while ago was like, recently it was like 2.2 bill for a hull.
Okay.
And now they're going for like 1.7, 1.6.
Okay. Koz is saying that he thinks once R4 is compressible, it'll make it easier. Agreed. And that the price of R4 has dropped. From what I understand, the price of R4 has kind of bottomed out too. It's like not only dropped, but it's like become like it's just bottomed out. Felice says, I don't think the markets are adjusting because people are still very risk averse. Yeah, see that? Capital prices have been going up in some areas. They have. I'll tell you what. I bought a bunch of caps right before the big industrial switchover that happened a few months ago, and recently did a little autumn cleaning, spring cleaning, whatever you want to call it, and unloaded them. And I made quite a tasty profit. I'm not gonna lie. I made quite a tasty profit on them. So that was enjoyable. When you're actually making bank selling Minakawas, that's a cool thing. So enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm hoping it keeps scaling down. I do. I want to see prices get back to a nice happy medium. I don't want things dirt cheap, but I would like to, let me back it up a little bit. So they're going to be dropping these new beacons, right? These capital PVE beacons. Well, who in the right mind is going to be bringing a cap out there with the current prices of caps? Like they're putting the cart before the horse on this. Am I wrong on that? My little dogs are going nuts. Would you call it capital gains? But I would definitely call it capital gains. Nobody wants to buy your Mina. Hold on 1 second, guys. I got to walk away from the box real quick here and let my dog out, or he will not shut up. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, you little nerd. Go. Sorry,
Smashies, how goes the numbers over there?
What's up?
I said, how goes the numbers over there while Doc's away?
It goes pretty good. I'm dropping update pictures into our little secret chat over here as I'm doing things. It's actually I can't say what I said in there, but I'm getting it going.
Seat is really cool, Johan. The Seat program, I mean, that is awesome. Is like I said before, no hate to Eve HR, it served us well, but Seat is where it's at. For sure. If you run a corp, Seat is where it's at.
Seat had one of my favorite things where you can actually put all your moon scans in there, and then you can make them accessible, so that you can see what each moon can produce. I don't know if it's a plugin. I don't know how it works on the back end, but I just know that whenever we were in Aurora, I took the time to actually scan a ton of moons and plug the data in, and it told me what each moon would build, or what moons you'd need to build what.
That's
pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited to start using that more. Definitely. All right, like I said, we're going to start wrapping up. Any other topics? Anything you guys want to touch on before we finish up? We're almost at 2 hours here. This is a pretty good talk, and I appreciate you all coming on for this. Just so you guys know, anyone out there, if you ever want to, I post up in Discord when for the guys that are on our Discord. I'll post up whenever I go live. If anybody ever wants to come in and chat, you're welcome to come in and chat. I mean, this is kind of like a like open mic night. If you want to come in and talk about something, as long as you're not going to be, totally, making Twitch send me some type of a content flag, we'll get on here and talk. But I am marked as mature audiences only. So, I mean, occasionally we do drop the F-bombs and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, if there's topics you want to talk about, we do it. I'm going to try to do this more often as well. I enjoy doing this. My favorite part of Eve is the meta, and because I'm not a very good pilot, so I have to be good at something in Eve, and that is running my mouth. So I'm mediocre at that, so I need practice. Z, you got anything you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, not really.
Poor
I'm
guy's falling
excited to get to Vegas and see everyone.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited about Vegas. Smash?
No, I don't. I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm totally
You're
distracted.
busy. Yeah. No, I appreciate you being in here. I know the whole time you've been back there with you, tinkering. So that's cool. Johan, anything before we wrap up?
If you don't mind, just for anybody who wasn't here when you started, can you kind of recap what your coverage is going to be like for Eve Vegas?
Okay, so what we're going to be doing is, again, the main focus for us is going to be hanging out and developing our friendships, right? So that's a big thing. However, I do promise that I will do at least one live stream for Twitch at some point, and I'm going to be doing some mini interviews. So, like, I'm going to catch, I think CCP Ice Cream's going to be out there. So I'm going to try to catch him at some point because I already threatened him on the Eve Vegas Discord, and I told him if I can't get a selfie with him, I'm going to tell everyone on Reddit that he's not a real person, that he's one of the deep fakes. So I'm going to get that. So while I got him, I'll probably try to do like a 60-second, hey, what's going on? Anything you can tell us right now in Eve. So, and how are things going? We'll do something like that. At some point, I know I'm going to be around a couple of the Eve famous people, because they're going to be there. And as long as they're not busy, I don't want to annoy them while they're trying to have fun with their friends. That is the last thing I would want to do. I would feel like shit if I did that to somebody. So if I do have a chance, though, I'm going to try to get some quotes, even if it's just about Eve Vegas. At one point, I know I owe Brisk a scotch. So at some point when I'm sitting there having a scotch with him, I'm probably I'll hit him up for a little bit, and we'll put some of that up. So a lot of it might be little vignettes and stuff that we put up. But at some point when things are going on, like if we're all just sitting around chilling as a group, I might just have the stream going while we're sitting around shooting the shit. There's usually at some point the goons get drunk enough that they'll sit around and start singing Little Bees and shit. And I would like to get that on the live stream because it's kind of funny to watch. So we'll make sure that if I'm around for that, we get it. I do know that on Saturday night, it's actually Sunday, midnight. So Saturday night going into Sunday, Alexeyev Card is doing a what's that game called where the undercover werewolf or whatever it is. It's like where you get a roll and people kind of got to guess whether you're the werewolf or not. They're going to play that game. I'm probably going to see if Alex is okay with me streaming that, and that'll of course be saved because it's going to be midnight in Vegas. So that'll also go up on the YouTube. We'll be doing that. I'll try to post as many updates as I can, and pictures will abound. I will do like I'll probably turn them into a video, like a montage video when I get back. But other than that, we're going to really focus on developing our friendships and spending some time with each other. That's going to be the core part of this.
That's awesome, buddy. Thank you for doing all that. And I look forward to the first day's live stream because I've been promised a first day live stream.
Yeah. And remember, guys, like first I'll be there Thursday, but first day is actually Friday. So that's when we'll be doing that. I'm sure at some point Frozen will probably yank my camera out of my hand and be like, no, too drunk, stop. So like, not now. It is not the time for that. So we'll figure something out. Someone will be streaming at all times. If it's not me, Wolf, that's Smashies, you can see him in chat there, Wolf from Ramoth, he has a Twitch channel, so he might be streaming. Zudla, our mining director, he is the Golden Pat. Here, I'll put it in chat for you guys so you can go give him a follow too. Right there. He may stream at some point. There's going to be a few of us there that are down with the Twitch. So Mouse, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. We're getting closer, guys. The more follows I can get, the better off we are, because that allows me to do more stuff for you guys. I think I need probably 25 to 30 more follows, and then I could probably apply for affiliate with Twitch, and then that allows me to open up more things. I can start doing more, little mini games, and it gives me more support with them. So again, anytime you guys throw me a follow, I really, really, really appreciate it, because it's getting the channel back up to where it needs to be, since I had to, like I said, reboot this. I lost my old Twitch account from back in the day when we used to do all the podcasting, to a horrible hacking incident involving some of our comrades over in Russia. But so we're starting from scratch. So anytime you guys can share this out and follow us, we really appreciate it. Like I said, everything that I put up on here also goes on YouTube. Our podcast, that's from evelowlife.podbean.com. That also will go over to YouTube as well. It also syndicates it over to there. So that's kind of the repository. Also, if you go to that let me put this up one more time. It's evelowlife.podbean.com. At that link, you can hear a lot of my old podcasts as well. If you are really into Eve, but you're new at it and you want to learn a little bit about the history, the first thing I'll tell you, go read the Empires of Eve books. They're actually awesome, and they're very accurate. There's some really good information that the author put in those two books, and I think there's even a third volume going to be coming out eventually. But if you would like to hear some of this stuff from the mouths of the people who actually did it, go check out my podcast. I've got hundreds of episodes. There's like 80 of them up there right now. But I've got hundreds of episodes that I've done where I do interviews with a lot of people who are still Eve famous, and some cool stuff. Alex A.F. Card I've had on the show. I've had the majority of the CSM members. I've had Mittens on the show. Celine. I've had CCP Swift before he was CCP Swift. And you can hear things that happened a while ago, but when you listen to it, you look at things that are going on now, and you're like, I can see how that influenced what's happening right now. That's that kind of culture we have as is EVE Online. Is things that happened all those years ago, a decade ago, are still affecting things that happen today. So go ahead and throw me a listen when you get a chance over there. Some of it's cool too, because like you can hear. I'm not the best podcaster, but I was so shitty back then, man. I was so shitty at it. But I felt that if I just did interviews with people, then it would be fun. So I also got a couple interviews mixed in there with some. There's CCP devs. There's also the creators of Walking Dead. I interviewed them at one point. I interviewed a bunch of the guys that were on the development staff for StarCraft 2 when StarCraft 2 came out. So there's some cool shit that I've done with it, and it's all mixed in there. So give it a shot. Ron Perlman. I interviewed Ron Perlman. So there's some weird shit. Yeah. It was just weird how it happened. He was so the guy who does Jim Raynor's voice. Okay, Robert Clotworthy. Robert Clotworthy is what I knew him from. Was he was a character on MASH. And I loved MASH when I was a kid. So when I found out that he was the voice of Jim Raynor, I was like, I got to get this guy on the show. And he came on the show. And after the show, we were talking, and he was like, man, I really like what you're doing. It's kind of neat. I've never been on a gaming podcast before. And he was like, he's like, I got to go. I'm going to hang out with a couple of the guys. He's like, but, I got another friend, and you might have heard of him, but he does gaming voiceovers too. I was like, oh, who is it? He said, Ron Perlman. I was like, fucking Hellboy. And he's like, yeah. So we interviewed Ron Perlman. He hooked it up for us. It was kind of cool. So every year on my birthday, Robert Clotworthy calls and leaves me a voicemail where he does the Jim Raynor voice to wish me a happy birthday.
That's amazing.
Isn't that neat? I love it. I look forward to that call every year. So yeah, I was like, oh my God, Hellboy. It was nuts. Or, Clay from Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, that was fun. We've done a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, I'd like to get back to being able to do that and put that kind of stuff up here on the stream and the YouTubes and on the podcast. And the more you guys follow and share it out for me, I appreciate it, because that helps me. That helps me do it. The more I can show these people, that like, hey, look, I've got viewers and listeners, the more likely they are to come on. So, yeah. That's that. And a lot of the guys that are military veterans, because I'm a military vet, I'll usually try to use that angle too. I actually had a couple weeks ago, it was a little longer than that, about a month and a half ago, my nephew was graduating from Special Warfare School down at the Air Force Base in San Antonio, and I got Randy Couture to give him to shoot him a video call and give him shit for being in the Air Force, and then to congratulate him. So that was pretty cool. So there's some neat things we can do. We can play some cool little games with this. But yeah. Anyway, that's that. I just rambled on there for a few minutes, but. We're at 1 hour and 58 minutes, so we're going to call it. So today's guests, we had Roz pop in for a little bit, who is my recon director. We have Zudla, who is my mining director for Omni Defense Corps and One Eye. We had Smashies8, who is the CEO of One Eye and the tech wizard behind everything we do. We have Johan Penderson with Lamo and Beskar, one of our brother corps and a longtime EVE player. And myself, Aridus Ganell, a.k.a. Doc. And thank you guys very much for coming on the show. And thank you, everyone, for coming out to watch. We really do appreciate it. And I promise I will send you guys something from EVE Vegas.